from the capital city of the United States of America, Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hello and welcome back to Muscle Party. Wow, it's been a minute, huh? Coming up on the 1-year anniversary of my last upload. Many notifications. Is Muscle Party dead? Where have you been? Hey, hold on a little bit. Oops, the announcement got bumped. Please hold on a little bit. Sorry, hold on, please wait. Great news, we're here. Celebrity boxing events are always a bit of a mixed bag. You know that scene in Gladiator when he goes and he's fighting in the pit with all the other slaves for the first time, and then there's like this guy who's just wearing a dead bull corpse on his head like he's the fucking Minotaur. Celebrity boxing events are basically like that scene, except everybody's the crazy guy. Every freak that could crawl out of the woodwork is out there doing a bit, doing something. But it's exciting. God, it's exciting. While I may be largely bit-free during my fight, I'm very stoked to be a part of it. So, we're gonna play catch-up here real quick. Forgive the informal conversational tone. It seemed like the easiest way to just communicate directly with you, the viewer, on this one. So, crack open a cold one, hit the bong, comb your long, beautiful hair out of your tower window, whatever you want to do, and let's catch up. In the description, I'll link the time code to the different topics if you want to just breeze through, hit what you want. And more importantly, in the description is a link where you can get your ticket for the stream. Very affordable, much cheaper than a Jake Paul fight, and it goes to a good cause. So appreciate your support on that front. With no further ado, how did I get into this and where have I been? So 2020 was a pretty bad year for me. Cow Chop had just ended, the day before New Year's, and then my dream of Muscle Party, a dynasty to last 100 years upon the fallen ruins of Cow Chop, pretty much immediately dashed. I guess I've never mentioned the fact on this channel that I do have a stream, which is where we launched Muscle Party, twitch.tv/Muscle Party. Come on by. But I was still streaming out of the Cow Chop warehouse, right? Next thing you know, global pandemic hits. Not a fun time. Next thing you know, my dad dies. Really not a good time. So 2020 pretty much just took a 90-degree plummet into the trash can. Time passes, I move out of the warehouse, go through all of the processes involved with both of the events that I was just talking about, and it's fall. I'm still not doing great. I'm streaming a little bit. When Idubbbz'S, Ian, reaches out to me and he's like, hey man, you want to make a video? Now, we had met a couple times before, and he was familiar with Cow Chop, and so of course, I say yes. And at this point, Cow Chop went from the crowd of people I was working with down to pretty much just me and Garrett going around filming these videos. So I gather Garrett up, we go down and we shoot a video. And for me it was really important because I had just been, I was in my own head about like, what am I even doing with my life at this point? Everything is falling apart, whatever. And Ian really took the time to be like a good guy and be like, dude, you just need to make something. Just make anything. Even if it sucks, you don't have to upload it or do anything with it, but just get back into the vibe. So we made a video. And it helped a lot. Maybe it will see the light of day someday, and maybe it won't. But it was the direct catalyst that led me to make the fitness sword video, and then the 2 videos that followed after that, and just feel like a YouTuber again, for lack of a better aspirational goal. So then about a year goes by, right? And this is July of 2021. By this point, Garrett has also departed. He's like, dude, I don't want to be on camera anymore. He's Splitsville. I had all these plans of all these things we were going to do. So I make the video about my dog, and then I kind of just twiddle my thumbs for a bit. Once again, sort of unsure about what the hell it is I'm doing with my life, right? And then I joined 100 Thieves as an executive producer. But before that, it's like July. And Ian hits me up and he's like, hey man, I'm trying to fight this Rice Gum guy. And I'm looking for people to be on the undercard. Would you be interested in boxing? I know you're a boxer. And I was like, sure. Now, to be fair, I wasn't a boxer. I had done a little bit of boxing during Cow Chop, but it was like 3 months of like walking down to this boxing gym from where I lived and, you know, going to class a couple times a week. It's like learning a new language, you know? You get the info, but if you don't keep using it, it just immediately falls out of your head, especially if you're like a sort of repetitive learner like I am. So I stopped going. Long story short, okay, sure, I'll be an undercard fighter. And then like 2 months went by and I didn't really hear anything. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you know, maybe it'll happen. Maybe I'll never hear about it again. Whatever. Fine. Smash cut to the end of October. Ian drops his video calling out Rice Gum and putting out a call for anybody interested in fighting to hit him up. Suddenly, it changes everything. We got all sorts of crazy personalities chomping at the bit to fight. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this is my being held to my prior commitment. And I remember we had a Zoom call, the first like real conversation with a bunch of us. And I was sitting in my car and I jump into the Zoom call and I'm looking at all the little boxes on my phone. And there's Harley from Epic Mealtime, you know, a channel I followed for, I mean, like a decade at this point. And I was like, wow, there are going to be real people in this. Is this not going to be a Street Beef's backyard wrestling thing? You know, it's just like trying to do something. Not that I didn't have faith in Ian, but, you know, truly wowed by the caliber of talent that were showing up to this. And I was like, okay, this may actually happen. So, you know, the people that were in that call are not necessarily all of the people by any stretch of the imagination who ended up in this final fight card, just because a lot of stuff happened. Some people dropped out, some people couldn't make it, people came in, some people got injured. But generally speaking, the amount of effort that went into recruiting people for this is like really something to be applauded. Ian and Anissa, like incredible work for just pursuing this. Because unsurprisingly, most YouTubers are not necessarily interested in doing a bunch of exercise that take up hours and hours and hours of their life, not interested in being punched in the face, and not interested in doing things for free, even if it's for charity. So, you know, it was quite an undertaking. So then we have a meetup in Santa Monica, and it's the first in-person gathering in Los Angeles of a bunch of us who are able to commit. I mean, we've got fighters from Australia, we've got some in Canada, and other places, but this was like our LA meetup. So I go there, super cool for me again. I meet the super mega guys. Ethan, Crank Gameplays, was there because he was originally going to be in this, but he had like a live tour that conflicted with it. And I'm like, wow, okay, so this is the next step of it being real. I'm meeting with people in real life, but like I have no coach. What am I going to do? And I had just recently moved to like really the edge of the map in Los Angeles. So it wasn't like I was close to a lot of stuff. And like Fallout New Vegas ass, way over here, everybody else is like, oh, we'll talk to the resources at Box and Burn in Santa Monica. We'll do. So Ian helps me out, and he goes on Instagram and he finds this guy on Instagram. He finds this athlete on Instagram, Michael Quick Flores. He's a 3-time Golden Glove champ. And it's like, hey, he coaches people. What do you think about him? And so naturally I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. So I hit him up. He is coaching out of this gym called Headway Boxing, and I get pumped. I'm like, okay, sick. This could be it. This might work out. So I go there, meet everybody there. They're all super cool, super chill, and they're, you know, there's a certain level of skepticism that I think rightfully the boxing world has about like YouTubers coming in and maybe making the sport look bad. or not committing to the training, just doing shit for content. They did not hit me with any of that, even though they really had every right to. We just had like a very sincere conversation about it, and then we went to work. So as of right now, I've got Quick training me, and then I also have a second coach, Myro, and because it's a family-run boxing gym, I sort of also have the resources of like a whole, extended boxing family there who are also all helping me. It's like Fast and the Furious, It's like, I'm like, all right, I am, I feel like I've got a whole crew helping me. And Myro is super, super knowledgeable about all the medical stuff and the way that the body works, went to school for it. And so that has really helped me in changing my body's framework from like, a refrigerator that lifts weights into like something that can move quickly, something that whose joints aren't betraying him at every step. And everybody at Headway Boxing is basically also a fighter. Everybody at Headway Boxing could have easily kicked my ass when I showed up, all right? Like, obviously, Myro could kick my ass, but, like, his son, who's 15, is, like, really also basically a training coach for me, could kick my ass. Myro's daughter, who's even younger, could kick my ass. Primrose could kick my ass. Uncle Jack could kick my ass. Anybody. So I've got all of these resources, and it's been huge for me, and I'm just going super hard at it. The transition from weightlifting to boxing, my background in gym time, maybe not as helpful as you might think. Obviously, I got a lot of very nice validation on Friday when I posted my thirst trap photo of my vascularity just popping out of my body after some session. But when I started, it was pretty bad. My body was super rigid, super imbalanced, had a lot of pre-existing issues, tricky shoulder, tricky knee, bad habits. It was pretty tough. So Myro has done a lot of work getting this whole system moving fast. And I'll tell you, you may think you're in shape, but once you start boxing conditioning, it's just like all of your preconceptions go out of the window. Like suddenly you're in the training montage of like Demon Slayer and you're like, oh, maybe I actually wasn't in shape. Like at all. Like I know we all sort of tell ourselves things, you go to the gym for your hour and maybe you're not actually putting in the work you could be working, you're just doing maintenance hours. But this has changed that whole mentality for me. When you're just like kneeling in a pool of your own sweat, you're like, oh, this is what cardio could be. Oh, this is what it's actually like. My heart goes out to any of the fighters in this event who maybe don't even have an athletic background, have never played a sport, and they're going in cold into like really like what is some of the hardest conditioning that exists. Major props, and they deserve respect for it. I think boxing to me, I've had this conversation with my coaches a lot, it just feels so one of the hardest things you can do in sports because it's just wholly reliant on you at the end of the day, right? It's all about like you can train with the best, you can eat the best, you can train at the best gyms in the world, but at the end of the day, it's all about the prep work you put into your body and the mental state you bring to a fight. And there's no way to be like, well, I had a bad game and shrug it off or blame your teammates or something. Like, it's just you. It's just you versus another person trying to hurt you. And it's just your willpower versus theirs and the preparation you've done versus the preparation they've done. And that's it. That's it. And you're going to make it or you're not. And you're going to lose. And you're going to lose in front of a ton of people. And it's all your fault. And no one can help you. Your coaches can tell you anything beforehand. They can shout whatever from the corner. But, like, it's you in that ring alone. You can take a hit. Getting punched in the face does not feel good. Getting hit with a body shot so hard on the right side that you drop to your knees and physically just can't stand up for a second, that doesn't feel good. But for me, the worst feeling that has elicited the worst responses from me personally is when your cardio stamina runs out when you're in a fight and your body's like, I want to stop. I want to stop right now and go lay down. I want to quit. I want to leave this ring, but you can't. And someone is still actively trying to fight you. And your options are either you just give up and become a blood sacrifice for the remainder of the round, or you find some way to tap into some energy and throw punches back to survive. I mean, it's like fight or flight in a way so far beyond like the panic attacks that I've had in my life where I'm just like, oh, it's like, oh, I get it. This is like a grizzly bear coming for you. On top of that, the determination to never feel that way again when you're in those moments. The determination to be like, okay, I'm going to work on my cardio or find ways around this so that I never, ever feel like that way again. It's pretty intense. So I'm really excited for my matchup. I was super stoked when I heard that I was fighting AB from the H3H3 Podcast. I have been watching H3H3 for like the past 7 or 8 years, and I'm talking like OG Papa John's era, DJ Khaled era, Allison Gold music video reaction video era, Prank Invasion, Kissing Pranks era, and I've watched them evolve. Obviously, my viewing habits have changed a lot, especially in the last couple of years. But, I would watch the main podcast or watch Frenemies or, bounce in here and there. But I wasn't super aware of AB as a personality. I just knew, like, okay, everyone on that team does amazing work. Here's someone I don't know, but who's working on that team. Awesome. And then I didn't go out of my way to, like, learn a whole bunch. I like the mystery. I don't want it to influence the fight. I certainly don't assume that he or anybody over there has, like, watched Cow Chop or anything I've done. So it's just cool. It's just, I'm hype. I have a lot of respect for them, and I'm going to do right by it. What is weird about an event like this, is just like you'll meet someone new, but then they're your opponent. They're your enemy. So like I've talked to him on Discord a little bit. We mostly had to coordinate sort of our weight because he was starting at a lighter weight and I was on the heavier side. And so far I've lost like 8 pounds and he's putting on weight and we're kind of meeting in the middle so that we, match the guidelines of how these things are supposed to work. Idubbbz'S and Dr. Mike are the only pro fight that's happening in this event. I originally wanted to do a pro fight just because it's just like how many opportunities do you have in your life to say like, I did a pro boxing fight. I'm a pro boxer, whatever. Obviously that's not what I am, but you know what I mean. Apparently nobody else was really interested in that. There's a difference in the length of the rounds and the type of gloves you're wearing and things like that. So we're doing an exhibition fight, which means I think we use our 16-ounce gloves, which is kind of like when you mentally picture boxing gloves, you're using those gloves, not the smaller ones where you can kind of feel the knuckles through them, where knockouts are a little more likely. And I believe our exhibition fight means it's 5 rounds of 2 minutes instead of 4 minutes of 3-minute rounds. So overall, the entire fight's about 2 minutes shorter, which changes the cadence of things. So whatever, I'll do an exhibition fight. It's not like I was confident about doing the pro fight, it was just a matter of like having that as something that we accomplished together. So we're still accomplishing a lot. I know AB is training hard. I'm training hard. What I've learned from sparring is that, like, even if you like someone, the best thing you can do in boxing is just go in and give it your all and show your respect that way. Because I would, when I started sparring, I would go in, I'd pull my punches. I'd be like, I like this person. I don't want to try to hit them as hard as I can. And then I'd just get the living shit kicked out of me by that person. And I'd be like, oh, oh, okay, of course, because they want me to get better. And so I just, I deserve it. So likewise, the best way I can show respect to AB, to my coaches, to the time I put in here is just to bring my A game, put on a really entertaining fight. Despite the fact that I like him, I'm just going to do my best to win the fight and be a good competitor for him. So I am very excited for that. And again, while I appreciate the validation from the announcement, there's nothing set. If we've learned anything from street beefs, it's that anything can happen in a fight. I just hope it's a good, entertaining contest of wills. But in the spirit of some friendly social beefing that was part of the fun of Friday's announcement, I've taken the liberty to help AB think about what walkout music he's going to use for the fight. You know, when you participate in these things, you get to walk out to a song. You got your robe on, you got your entourage. You walk into the ring, they're playing some music. Presumably you won't hear it on the stream for copyright reasons, but you know, it's your little anthem. So listen, I've got a few suggestions for AB I think might be good for him. Up first, the music that plays when Sonic is about to drown underwater. Just a really good anxiety-infused nightmare where, like, he walks out and the reality of the situation hits him. Oh my god, I shouldn't be here. I'm running out of time. What am I gonna do? Just get some of that good animal fear going. Might be, like, really motivational for him. Option 2, this weird laughing baby song I'm obsessed with. Again, just sort of another abstract nightmare, combining the fact of, like, the mental idea of, like, oh, I'm a little baby, I shouldn't be here, oh no, and then just, like, a malaria fever dream on top of that of just, like, why does this exist? Who made this? What purpose does this serve? Lastly, the brown note, the theoretical frequency that makes people poop. Here's a theoretical rendering of this theoretical concept. I think this has actually been debunked by Mythbusters, but bear with me. Okay, try to picture it. It's the night of the fight. You walk out in your robes. The brown note descends upon the amphitheater. I think technically it's supposed to be below a frequency that humans can hear, but whatever. The audience hears it. They all start shitting their pants. The ref hears it. He shits his pants. You walk into the ring and you look me in the eyes and we find out exactly what kind of person you are, you know? There's a lot that's open to interpretation there. Guys, thank you for all the love and support. Go be nice to everybody involved with this. Be nice to AB. He's working hard. I really appreciate him as a competitor and I'm excited for our fight. Be nice to the other people who are out here doing this for charity. Much love to Ian and Anissa, who have really held our hands throughout this and answered just like endless waves of questions. Shout out to Mike and Justin and the other people behind putting the event itself together. Please go to the link in the description. Get your tickets. It's cheaper than a lot of these other celebrity boxing fights, and it's going to charity. I believe currently it's going to the American Heart Association, and they're trying to pick up at least a couple more charities to split the profits with now that we can actually talk about this and go shop it around. And I guess you could also go to Tampa, Florida if you want. I think those tickets go on sale early April. But, of course, the easiest way to watch is from the comfort of your own home. Watch a bunch of YouTubers destroy each other. It's gonna be a good time. And just to convince you to click the link, I'm going to end this video with footage of me just getting punched in the stomach over and over again with my little protective ab barrier while Byron just throws punch after punch at me and knocks the air out of me. I hope it in some way convinces you to click the link. Thanks, guys. More to come soon. Very excited. I'll talk to you later.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Tie naps.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh. Bro, this could have been a YouTube video. Oh, fuck! I didn't fucking click.
Gotta make sure
Jesus.
abs.
Oh my god, I see what you mean. Holy shit.